In this video, I'll be talking about what bags I brought with to Brooks Lodge in Katmai, Alaska. My family and I were up at the lodge for 3 days, and we're from Michigan, so we also had about 2 days of travel on either end of the journey. So most of you will be familiar with this bag over here. This is the Gura Gear 30 liter without the laptop, so not the plus version. This is a very popular backpack for wildlife photographers, because you'll see on this side it fits my 600 f4 lens. So anyways, all my camera gear went in this bag, this Gura Gear. People love it because when it's not stuffed full like it is right now, it'll fit easily on the carry-on dimensions and weight and everything. You can see in there, if I can get in there, that's the Kiboko 2.0 30 liter. And this is how I carried it. So it's pretty overfilled. You know, it looks like it's budging at all the seams. I brought the monopod. I actually didn't use it, so I will not be bringing a monopod in the future to Katmai. We did win the lottery for next year, so we will be back next year. So this was kind of a trial run. But basically, 2 bags, up to 50 pounds total allowance when you're on the float planes. We opted not to do any checked bags during our journey, so we just took these. And all my camera gear fit in this bag, and all my clothes fit in this bag. I've since taken them out. I figure people probably know how to pack clothes, but like toiletry bag, use these little compression kits, underwear, socks, shirts. I've got one of these little travel fans. These things are awesome. Got a couple of the selfie sticks in here for the 360 camera. If people are interested, I can make a full video on how I fit a week's worth of clothes and everything in here. But for now, the main focus is the actual camera side of things. So I'll kind of take this stuff out and we'll go through it. So the first thing, as I mentioned, monopod. I didn't really know what to expect. I don't usually shoot with a monopod. However, we were doing a river walk, which was about 8 hours of walking. It was supposed to be 8 to 10 miles. And with the 600 f4, I thought I might want stability. So I lugged this monopod along the whole way and did not use it a single time. I would not recommend a monopod unless you absolutely need one. We'll start kind of with the main side of the bag, which is why I chose this bag, because it can fit a 600 f4 in here. So up top is where I kept just the must-haves for any photography trip. So you've got your lens wipes right here, your little lens blower, and then these just cheap rain jackets. I didn't end up having to use these because luckily the weather was fairly nice. I don't mind a little bit of rain on my equipment because it's all weatherproof. This is more of just in cases of torrential downpour. But always keep that easily accessible. Then in the main compartment, this is just a lightweight rain jacket that I always wanted to have, but again, didn't really need it, so throw that off to the side. And then the star of the show, this is the Sony G Master 600 f4 with an Arca Swiss foot, and then the Zemlin hood and the Zemlin cap. So this is the big portion of why you need a bag like this to fit the 600 f4, and it worked great. And then under there, I just kept one of these compression cubes. I think I put my socks in here, and then I also just had a bunch of my extra batteries, and that was about it. So unfortunately, when you're traveling with these big 600 f4s or a 400 2.8, it's going to take up most of the bag. Most of your planning has to be thinking about this lens. So the nice thing is the Gura Gear just fits it right in there, nice and easy. Coming over to the other side, this is where I kept all of the rest of the camera gear. So like I said, unfortunately, one side is basically dedicated just to that prime, and this is just some of the other accessories. So up top, this is one of the stars of the show. I'll probably do a separate video. I don't know if it has branding on it, but this is an Optec dual lens harness or dual camera harness. So I wore this the entire time to allow me an A1 with a 70 to 200 on the left side, and an A1-2, and then an A1-2 on the right side with the 600 f4. 55 bucks compared to the competition, which is at like 200, 300. This was amazing. So yeah, I'll probably talk more about that later. Great purchase. And then I just had some compression socks for traveling on all the airplanes, and then a sweat rag. I'm a big sweaty dude, so kind of the essentials for me. Getting into the actual compartment here. Again, on this side, more rain gear. So these are dedicated rain pants, which I didn't end up needing, but better to have and not need than need and not have. And then this is all of the rest of the camera gear outside of the 600 f4. So I've got the A12 with the battery grip on it, the A12 without the battery grip on it. I brought, if I can get it, I brought this new to me 16mm f1.8, hoping for auroras. The aurora conditions were good while we were there. However, it was always cloudy, so this lens actually didn't get any use. I brought the 70-200 f2.8. This was a great lens. I think a lot of people love this lens. However, for me, I would prefer, 100-400 or the 300-2.8. I didn't really find that f2.8 was necessary at Katmai. A lot of people were shooting with zooms and slower lenses, and the lighting was fairly okay. So I will be selling this lens, and I would not bring it again. I think the 100-400 is a better choice at Katmai. I did bring both of the Sony teleconverters right here. So I did use the 1.4 times on both the 70-200 and the 600 f4, not at the same time obviously. I didn't use the 2 times, so in retrospect probably didn't need to bring the 2 times. And then these are just other cameras. So this is a, I believe it's a, let's see if it says, I forget which brand, I think Small Rig, but this attaches to the foot of any of these lenses so that I can attach the Insta360, which I then have the Insta360 X5 right here for filming like behind the scenes. And then this is the battery charger for the Insta360. And then inside here, I had 2 card slot holders. So a lot of different memory cards. We had a lot of cameras running. So this is kind of all of the memory cards that I had for the A12s. And then this one, all of the memory cards that I had for like the Go 3S that's on my head right now, and then also the Insta360 X5. Yeah, we didn't bring any laptops, and we didn't do any transferring of photos on the way, so everything went on cards and then just came back home. I think I had 5 or 6 terabytes worth of shots at the end of it, so everything was stored just on cards. So yeah, this is everything that fit into that backpack. Quite a lot of gear. I'll get a weight measurement at the end. I think for most of this trip, that backpack ended up weighing about 26 pounds, and my other backpack for clothes was 12 pounds. So I was well within the 50-pound weight limit, and it was my first time using that Gura gear. So it'd been sitting on a shelf for a while. The thing about it, I don't love that it has the straps here. I don't know if you would consider this, backward or forward, but basically a lot of my bags, I prefer that the bag opens from the back, because what you have in this case is you're carrying it on your back all day, and then you want your gear, you have to set it down like this, and oftentimes that's on the ground, in the mud, in the dirt, whatever. Then your back gets all dirty. So just a little complaint of mine. However, it is one of the trade-offs that makes this bag significantly smaller than, say, the Mr. Jan Gear Boris 4 or 5, which are other bags that I have that carry a similar amount of gear. So for what you're getting with the Gura gear, I mean, I don't think you can really complain. All this camera gear and more, very securely protected, very tight fit. No problems with Alaska Air on any of the flights, no problems with any of the Katmai Air float planes. So really just a very good bag, especially if you've got that big 600 f4. So hopefully this video helped give you an idea of the type of gear you can carry, and yeah, hopefully you get out to Brooks Lodge, because it was amazing.